Greatest Media Team presents the 2023 Welcome to the Jungle 8 presented by Discmania. I am Kyle Moriarty and I am joined here by my good friend Harry Chace.
What's going on, everybody? Excited to be back in the booth once again, first time on Greatest Media Team. And we have a really special card for you guys. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I gotta thank our tourney sponsors. You saw Rad Disc Golf, 978, Disc Golf Bra, Amplified Insurance. On the card today, you're going to see me, Kyle Moriarty, sponsored by Thought Space Athletics, Disc Golf 978, Disc Golf Bra. We're going to put our little swagger as well. We're also going to have Dylan Capaccioli, who knows exactly how to say his last name, sponsored by Beast Disc Golf and Sunnymead.
I like that collar pop there, Waz. Looking good.
Thank you.
Can't be outdone here as we got myself. I'm working up to what Waz is doing, but sponsored by Discmania and Disc Golf 978. Rounding out our feature card, Maine's very own Josh DiBattista. Won a lot of big tournaments in the area recently, sponsored by Acres Acres, looks like, his local course. And here we go, MPO payouts. $14.45 for first place, huge for a local B tier. We saw $1,000 for second as well. $5K added cash amongst the pro divisions. We also have the Sunstein Series. This is a big kickoff event for that. It's going to be a good series all season long. Shout out to Sunstein, Steve Abreu, really putting on for Mass Disc Golf.
Definitely. So we're here for the first round. We'll welcome the jungle. We're at Coggshall Park here in Fitchburg MA, Massachusetts. Harry, break down hole one.
Yeah, so it's par 3, 253 to start off your day. The gap is a little blind from the tee pad. It's a turnover and it's really a straight shot, but you're going to see we're going to be starting off a little bit to the left of that, so you have to turn something in or maybe go with a forehand flip up. It's a great technical hole to start off the day.
Hey, there's our TD Bob Kulchuk. You cannot thank Bob enough for everything that he does.
Starting off, Kyle Moriarty.
Wonderful gem of a human being. Also sponsored by Discmania. Stepping up to this hole here, I'm holding a Nebula or a Praxis. Just looking to throw a nice straight putter, get a little turn like you were saying. And then
you could tell if someone's played a whole lot when they go to the standstill. Watts is going to be under the basket there. Dream start.
Dylan Capaccioli.
Nice. Dylan, if you have never seen him on coverage, I highly suggest you see all of Dylan's coverage. He is an absolutely explosive player, and he is forehand dominant.
Super, yeah. You'll probably see him throw forehand off of nearly every tee pad. He's throwing his ESP zone here and just tags that last tree. Not too punishing. Should be easy up and down.
Third,
Oh, yeah.
Discmania's Harry Chace.
Harry, what's going through your mind right now?
I'm just kind of calm the nerves. Start off with a good shot here. My kind of mantra of the day was just to commit to every shot out here. So I'm kind of picking my gap with my trusty Glow P2 and just looking to hit the gap with confidence. Did that pretty well and didn't quite get high enough. Got some ground action there. There's a few stumps from cut down trees, so not the perfect shot, and got a little punish for it.
Yeah. Josh is an absolute technician through the woods. He has some of the best control I've ever seen out of any other player. He's throwing a fluid judge here, and he will throw this a lot.
For sure. He's going to go to that judge a lot, and you'll see there he loves the flex shots. He loves Anheuser angle. That one sails in him a little bit. He's going to be actually past the basket with the putt right back at it.
I think being a little deep of the basket's the safe play to make. That's the error you want because you're going back up the hill like Dylan's putt here. Kind of has to lay this one up, right?
For sure, yeah. He committed to the shot. It's definitely not the worst. We're going to see him maybe even got a little bit of a roll down the hill. Looking up from about maybe 60 and even tags left side chains.
Yeah, that was a strong bid.
For sure. I've got right outside the circle here and didn't quite commit to it.
It looked like, first putt of the round for sure.
Yeah, and this truly is first putt of the round. Definitely one that you want to connect on and keep it going.
There you go. That's a good comebacker to hit. Definitely a little bit longer than you really want something to be, but nice strong contact right there. Nice confident putt.
Yep. Here's where Dylan's layup landed him. Just about 20 feet. Sticks it good.
Yeah, he just got it over that rim. You could tell he was feeling a little nervy on that. Oh.
And whoa.
Oh. That is that's unfortunate. That's something that you will see on these baskets a little bit. This is my little drop in from my drive. But yeah, spit outs are definitely a thing.
Definitely a thing. I didn't actually even see that putt live, and he had the bag on, but it has nothing to do with the bag. That was right on the center and felt slow, but it's going to happen to everyone eventually.
Yep. Hole 2, par 3, 215. What are we looking at, Harry?
Kind of a unique shot shape. There is a forehand line, although it's really difficult to get right to the basket. If you're going to throw a backhand, you really need something to pan the whole way, likely with something overstable to kind of get to flat. But it's a scary gap off the tee. Just like hole 1, you can't quite see the gap. You just kind of have to pick your spot and trust it.
Yeah. This is try and get that forehand line. That was a Z birdie bait zone from Disc Golf Bra. Just, getting up there, hoping to play some ground action. Dylan, another zone. Big surprise.
Yeah, and there's not many players that can just hyzer zone like he just did there.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like we're getting a little replay action, too. I mean, his swing is just so effortless, and
you can tell he takes a lot of power off of his throw. He doesn't quite follow through nearly as much, and I can't wait to see some of his other forehands to see how his full body moves.
Absolutely. We're going to see it. But yeah, I'm going with a Sky God 4 here, C-line P2, and taking the backhand route, just picking my gap and trusting that angle.
Oh, beautiful. It, had some really nice ground play. This hole, there were some kind of pines that were cut out, so rollaways are a lot more in play here, but you settled up nice. And Josh is going with that fluid judge again. Same line that you're taking, a little bit higher, but he gets up there.
Yep, and Debo is great around the green, so anytime he gets in circle, he's a threat to score for sure.
Oh, Debo, I feel like if he can see a basket, he's running it, and it's probably going to be close to going in. This is very out of position, very blocked by trees on this elevated basket with a sloping green away. So that was just kind of a layup. Just put it in the air and make it look like I'm kind of giving it a bid, but not really. Nice. Good connection from Debo. Good putt after that center chain spit out from 2.5 feet away. So that's probably one of the hardest putts to make after a spit out like that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when he made that, but that's just the kind of player Debo is. He is right for it. Is I'm able to clean up my birdie putt to start off under par now.
Nice. Congratulations. Look at you.
Feels good. You got to start somewhere, and look how close Dylan's drive got. Hyzer the whole way. Truly many players aren't going to be able to do this.
No, and we didn't mention there's a Mando on this hole. The road plays out of bounds, so there's definitely a lot of trouble that you can get to, especially if you start hitting some of these trees. And then not to mention this basket is elevated. Hey. Huh. So, yep, that's a spit out again. So now we've had a spit out on hole 1 and a spit out on hole 2. And I just felt like the viewers really needed to see more of me putting.
Yeah, normally in golf, 2 for 2 is a good thing, but
hey, I'm 3 for 3 now.
These baskets are not having the best introduction to the round, unfortunately.
No, it is an unwelcome to the jungle here. Let's take it to hole 3.
Yeah, this hole is quite epic. Par 3, 384. There's a little bit of a valley in the middle, but most discs will travel right over that. So it does end up playing a little bit downhill, but Yeah, super tight the whole way, and you'll see this iconic mound on the left here that stops a lot of good shots, but also can help funnel you right into the circle. One of my favorite holes on the course, for sure.
Truly a score separated. Do you know what the average was on this hole?
Absolutely. We had a 3.21 average for hole 3.
Nice.
Which, actually made it the 6th hardest hole. I expected that to be harder.
Yeah. So that was Dylan. He threw his Raptor, Z-Raptor. He just unloaded on that thing, put a nice angle on it. What are you throwing?
I'm going with an FD, actually. Witness Me, Disc Golf Bra. Shout out to them. And ended up tagging a tree, and there's that mound I'm talking about. It just kind of filtered me right to a pretty good putt.
Thank you, Ice Age, for depositing those rocks there. Debo throwing a nice, I assume that's a destroyer or a wraith of some sort, a higher speed disc. But he threw it just a little too straight and a little too low. I'm stepping up here with a Nebula Aura Votum, something to do a little flip up and ride this.
It's like it leaks a little bit right.
Yeah, I said please hit, but I honestly think I could have rode that road and been much better than what I was. The good thing about this hole is if you hit a tree, you have a lot of lanes to scramble into. You might have to get creative, like Debo and we were doing step out, reverse patent pendings, but you can get to the basket. It's not truly punishing. There's a lot less laurel on this hole than some of the other holes here at Coggs, so it's a little bit more forgiving.
For sure, yeah. I think I mentioned it was the 6th hardest hole, and not a lot of birdies, but a lot less bogeys, probably because of that. There is that open space.
Well, there's a birdie.
There is a birdie right there, just
Wow.
outside circle 1. I can only see half the basket, actually, so I just kind of aimed for the band right over the rock.
That's such a good putt, Harry.
Able
Great
to put it in.
connection, dead center, great pace. That was awesome. And I'm glad we got that replay on that, too. Thanks, Greatest Media Team. So here's Dylan. This is where his drive went, and he fell right there off camera. And, wow. Whew, 2 birdies on this hole.
Yep, we just saw 2 out of the 3 birdies for the whole round. Shout out to Isaac Christensen for the 3rd.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's pretty impressive. Super bonus hole, and we both got the job done there.
That is not getting the job done by the basket because that was on the pole. But, hey, you know what? Welcome to disc golf, folks.
Here we go, 3 for 3. Kind of a imperfect start.
Yeah. Debo cleaning up for par. Nice job, Debo.
Yeah, I kind of want to ask you, what's your headspace at right now? I mean, you just had 2 near spit outs in a row. Like, what do you do as a really talented player when stuff like that happens?
Oh, a lot of this, it comes down to really having to understand that disc golf is a game of pure luck at the end of the day, and sometimes you're just going to get spit outs, especially on these older baskets that are a little rusty. But hey, let's talk about hole 4.
That's right. We got a brand new hole, never been seen before. They were able to clear out some space for a temporary basket. It's about 260 uphill. Honestly, plays probably closer to 370. The grade of this hill is super good, and we got some fist pumps there. Always a good thing.
Yep.
And Dylan sees this and says, "I'm gonna go zone."
Yeah, at first he had his Raptor in his hand, and it made sense to me. And then all of a sudden he walked back to the bag and grabbed the zone.
I haven't played it.
And I was gonna be like, dude, no! But he plays so fast and he plays so committed, and I didn't want to start yelling during his swing. But yeah, it is way more than a zone, buddy.
Yeah, so this hole actually plays quite easy. It's just a simple hyzer, as I saw that off a little bit and get lucky. But in this long position, is playing as the 3rd most difficult hole, 3.26 average. And a lot of that has to do with these trees right off the tee pad as
Yes.
where Debo lands is, no man's land.
Yeah, Debo, where he is almost like an automatic bogey. It is so hard. You have to penetrate uphill and go so much further than you need to. This is a coalesce from Thought Space that I'm pulling on. This is Thomas Gilbert's signature series since he joined the team. And I hit that hyzer line, and I know how to hit it hard.
He'll spit out.
Oh, and I got a little review here. Thanks, GMT.
Yeah, absolutely deserved here. Got to hit this gap with confidence, and it's so awkward because it's so uphill. You don't really throw gaps like that normally.
Yeah, it's uphill, and the road that we're teeing off on is definitely not an even surface. So you got to do awkward footing, awkward changes in elevation on your run up, and you give the camera a little wink as you walk by too.
That's professional stuff right there.
Yep. So Debo, I don't know what disc he is. Do you know what this is?
Some sort of Firebird or Firebird clone, I think. I'm not quite sure. But puts it up there for a look, which honestly is impressive. Yes.
Yeah, that was about all you could ask for. Dylan throwing that zone again. He just goes zone on this hole, which I guess you can break this hole up zone and take the 3 and really not lose too many strokes. You get a nice little spicy bid there. Was that a tactic?
It was a soft tactic. Yeah, it was not quite a stance for a jump putt. But just wanted to give it a little bit. And there's Debo for his par and stands up on the temporary basket.
I have not seen that much. All right, so here's where my drive lands. And, after the past couple of holes, the putting woes for the baskets, I see something that is not an old disc catcher, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Sweet, right in the heart. That is a great birdie for you. Pars for the two of us, and that's going to bring Debo to over par, which honestly for his standards, he can't be happy about. Such a great player, especially in the woods, and we'll look for him to pick it up on the next few holes.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, Dylan's in.
No more timid putting.
What do you think about this change, Wads, as a whole for this tournament? I liked it personally.
I did like this hole because you do get the scoring separation, and for it to play as a harder hole, it was a good change. The old hole 4 was just nothing to speak about. But hole 5, we could definitely speak about that one.
We could speak about this one for a while. Super tough hole, 358, certainly plays longer. And there's a multitude of gaps to hit throughout the fairway. Tight on left and right with rough. And what are you attacking this with on forehand?
This is a Synapse from Thought Space. This is basically their nice distance driver. Nice and flat, really good speed out of the hand. Just hung it a little bit wide, gets hung up into the laurel. It's hole specific. Ooh. Dylan looks like a halo destroyer. Hits kind of one of the trees that's kind of in the way, but really isn't in the way. But, it's pretty far back.
Yeah, it'll be a really tough scramble from there. Going with a Color Glow FD, and it's drifting right the whole way. And this is honestly one of those holes that I'm just looking to get through the gap, and kind of got just lucky to get as far as I did. The right speed and the right shot shape, and I should have a putt for the bird.
Yeah, I will say that this hole is definitely probably the hardest to par on the course, because this is a par 3.
Yep, and as we see Debo get off on the right side, but should be okay. And we'll see as we get up there. The green is really difficult to approach. I mean, even if you're just 100 feet out, it's pretty difficult to just give yourself a routine tap in. And once again, with Dylan's forehand, doing things that most people just can't. That is such an impressive shot. He's actually going to be long of the basket with a look to save the par. Super, super impressive.
He has power, that is for sure. You can never take that away from him. He is a powerful man.
Yep, Debo with that forehand is going to end up on the hill there, and you got a little bit of a stab from here.
Yeah, a little stab. The laurel's making it uncomfortable, very particular, go over some stuff, swing through some stuff, but that's something you got to deal with here at Cogs. You can't get frustrated by it. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at just inside the circle, some laurels in the way, but a true open line, and I was just kind of feeling confident and had that line squared up.
Wow. Even hitting the laurel, too.
Yeah, right, that spin from a straddle, and that's a good birdie. Actually, the only birdie in the MPO field on the day on this hole.
Wow.
And the hardest hole on the course, averaging 3.53. So.
Wow. This one was the hardest hole, huh?
Yes, it was.
Interesting.
That is strokes on folks. Happy to get that bird.
Yeah, nice. The only birdie of the day. Nice job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Dylan, being able to scramble and get a par from there, that's a great second recovery shot.
Simply ridiculous. Nobody else is saving par from there, I guarantee.
No. This putt that Debo made, your putt was awesome. I think that putt right there was more impressive. He was standing above the basket, had to putt from his chest over laurel and down. Like, oof.
Totally agreed. Just a great putt. Nobody really practices those, and he's able to just pull it out like that.
Yeah. Signature hole on the course, in my eyes. Hole 6. Break it down.
I agree with you. Signature hole for sure. There's a huge valley that the drone is flying over right now. You go in there, it is not good. You really want to stay on high ground, and we filter to a basket that's slightly elevated from the tee pad, about 340. It is a truly gem of a hole.
All right, I know this disc. This is Witness Me. Are you a big fan of Mad Max, or are you just a big fan of FDs?
I would go to the FD. Honestly, when the stamp came out, I had no idea what it was. But Jim from Disc Golf Bra hooked me up with a few when I did some commentary for him. So
nice.
This disc has been a staple ever since.
Oh, and please keep it being a staple, because that was gorgeous. Look at this. Perfect release, just slowly flipping, never really turns over, but just slow slide over. Now, is that your typical FD flight, or is that just you being an animal?
It's certainly the FD flight that I can get from that disc. I do like to hyzer release a lot of my discs, and that one I had to throw more flat to get that turn. But yeah, that's what that disc does. Highly recommend the FD to honestly any player.
Yeah. I was throwing a construct there, and I got hung up in the stuff on the left side of the screen. Dylan going with his Raptor again, squeaks around and puts it closer than you.
Yeah, I did not think that anyone was going to do that. And of course, Dylan's showing me up once again, and it's just so impressive to do that with a 9-speed forehand. And Debo there is going to hit one of those early trees and be in this valley that I talked about. And you can just see how far down it is. You can't even really see the top of the hill, let alone the basket from here.
No, that's a complete blind shot. And Debo hasn't really played this course before either, so he's playing pretty much blind, even though you can't see the basket. If that's me lining up an overhand, it's not good.
Yeah, I can't recall a time I've seen you throw an overhand before, so
yeah,
this is actually going to come near the middle and then do some funny things for you. And
I think this hole, when my discs hit trees, the reverse glide was further than they went forward.
For sure.
But yeah, this is just pitch up and down, take a bogey, and move on. Debo to save a par. Wow. That's
good stuff right there. That's playing golf for sure.
Yeah, that speaks to Debo being able to scramble, just playing Maine courses. I'm sure that there's some holes up in Maine that are pretty similar to his upshot there. You dropping in an unreal birdie, and then Dylan going to be dropping in an even crazier birdie, even closer than you. Like, those are absurd. Do you know what the average was for this hole?
Yeah, it was fourth hardest hole. Looking at it right now, only 4 birdies on the day. Steve Economos and Brian Schweinhart got the others.
Wow.
But yeah, this averaged 3.26, the same as hole 4, so actually tied for third. And those holes that we
Nice.
just played, 3, 4, 5, 6, all in the top 5 hardest holes. So
I mean,
that
this
was
has to be there, right?
since it's a par 4, it doesn't actually average that much. It's actually on the easier side of holes, averaging at 3.83, so just a little bit under par. But still a really tough shot as we go down this tight tunnel the whole way. These holes are truly the teeth of the course, and we're seeing our top-rated pros really play them well right now.
Yep. What are you reaching for?
Same disc, FD. It's just one of those courses where you really just want to get in a groove and hit those gaps. And as we see this slowly flip up the whole way again,
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, I mean, you're missing some, kind of like that tree in the middle there. That's kind of your aiming point, right? Further down, and whether you go to the left or the right of that, you're pretty happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Dylan, I know on the box he was saying, I'm going to throw my FD as well. But he hits a tree, but he got a very friendly kick, it looks like.
Yeah, he just kind of caught that and ramped right up. And he's going to be down there a ways. Ebo, I think this is a Orbit Grace. And catches a tree and kicked straight left. He's going to be in an awkward spot, as we'll see.
Yeah. Oh. I decided to try to go back to hole 6 and hang out. The bugs are trying to join the camera there. You could barely see me in there, and I'm reaching for, I forget, throwing an Omen. Almost through overhand, but I found the fairway.
You did. It was a crazy trick shot. Went almost off the fairway and then came right back. I believe this is the runway.
Yep, that was the runway. Just trying to hit this alley, get up, and put it up on the dance floor there. Oh, Debo's on hole 8. So I went back to 6. Debo goes to 8. And we still haven't putted out. So we're all over the place here. This is truly the jungle. This is the thick of it. Like, Dylan's in the laurel, and he's pretty much on a fairway.
Yes, this is what makes Cogs a special place and why this is Welcome to the Jungle.
And a tee shot like yours, where you're putting from the pathway that we walk to the basket, like, you make that hole look so easy because you're not scrambling, you're up there and you're putting, whereas you saw everybody else's shots were in laurel, in weird elevations, and even though people may be getting the threes, you've got one of the easiest threes there are.
For sure. What makes Cogs such a hard track is scrambling is never easy. And if you can hit your tee shots like I've done so far, I really haven't had to scramble in the traditional sense. So
yes. Yeah, I've talked to a lot of players about Cogs, and you don't have to feel like you play amazing golf to score well. You just have to be hitting your fairways. If you're slightly off, the course is truly punishing. But if you're hitting your lines and hitting your putts, you score very well.
Yeah, that's going to put me 5 down through 7, which is certainly a good start out here.
I mean, you're on a heater. I mean, I would say you're on fire. I don't know if you would, but I'm saying you're on fire.
Yeah, and Dylan's not too far behind at 4 down, but no, I totally agree with you. Getting holes 3 and 5 and 6, all super bonus birdies, that is exactly what you hope for.
Yeah,
and that is a fantastic par. I know, obviously, you're looking to pick up the birdie on a lot of these holes with your slow start, but that's got to be getting something going for sure.
Yeah, that's truly jungle golf where you're way off the fairway, and it's, best case scenario is saving a par. So good for that. Hole 8.
Yep, hole 8. We mentioned we're pretty much out of that gauntlet I mentioned earlier. Only 193, subtle turnover or a forehand for those like Dylan out there. But one of the easiest holes, second easiest on the day. Truly a must get after those difficult holes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this absolutely. You step up to this hole and you look at it, and that basket's just sitting there saying, "Yeah, come on, ace me, ace me." Dylan going to his zone did not ace it. It did kind of one of the few mistakes, throwing it too straight into those trees. You ended up okay, right? You went a little deep.
Yeah, I kind of juiced it a little bit, but I'll be in the circle for a birdie.
Yep.
And Debo did the same thing, deep of the basket. It's hard after those shots going from 350 hard power. Now we're going 190 downhill. You go to the standstill again, praxis, and whew, I
Yeah,
threw it.
it was the perfect line, just a couple feet high. And it did stick pretty much 12 feet behind the basket. Dylan from circle two, way out in circle two, and his front cage. Could you see how awkward Debo's lie was?
He had some laurels in his way for sure, and he had those little sticks right in front of him.
Yeah,
Found a gap, but yeah, just unable to connect there. It's not quite his natural putt angle either. So
No. You easy work. Come on. Kid's on fire. He's hitting everything. The drives, the putts. Whew.
yeah, I can't complain with this start for sure. Feeling good and hoping to keep pace.
Yeah. Keep pace with yourself.
I mean, round one of a 3-round tournament, I'm not really thinking about anyone else on the card. And, this is my second B tier of the year, second tournament of the year. The first one didn't really go that great. So
Okay.
I'm kind of coming in with the mentality of I got something to prove, and every shot is going to count to your rating. Every shot is going to matter in the long run. So, yeah, I really am trying to race against the course, race against myself, and keep up this pace no matter what the rest of the card's doing at this point.
All right, here's a question. With it being a 3-round tournament and tee times, did you look at the scores before the round today?
I did not look at the scores. I'm not super crazy about not knowing it, but I guess I would prefer not to know.
All right. Quickly
That's just the
hit
way
it.
I am.
All right, hit us with hole 9.
Yeah, hole 9, 360, par 3. Plays quite downhill, not incredibly downhill, but it's certainly going to be a factor on the glide of these tee shots. I think the ideal line is to flex a forehand, but that gap is tight, and me as a backhand player is going to just look to put something down there.
Yeah, this is your Glow P2. Probably is this a Sky God, right?
It's not actually. I think it's pre Sky God 3, which was the Color Glow P2.
Okay.
It's just a fundraiser stamp from a run back in the day, but it's gotten pretty flippy now as this disc is flipping over too. Praxis, I believe.
Yep.
And those trees for the backhand line, like I said, it's not really the pure line. There's certainly gaps that you can hit down there, but Dylan is hopefully trying to show us that flexing line and gets a little too early, but doesn't hit much. I think he'll be left with a putt for bird.
Yeah, I think the big thing about this hole is you have to throw and you have to try to beat trees at some point in this fairway, and whether it's beating trees earlier and gliding down, or beating them by the basket, or beating all of them and going past the pin. It's a tricky hole where there's no one pure line.
For sure, and Debo just got as close as you probably can to it. With as flippy as it is that he threw, he threw what I would call pretty perfect, and just dodging the basket. He's going to be looking for his birdie too.
Oh, Dylan from probably 45, 50 feet just goes off, and that's a scary putt because he was uphill. You couldn't quite tell in the camera angle, but if he didn't connect, he could go quite a ways.
Yeah, that's the kind of player Dylan is, though. He's never laying that up, and he's going to hit metal most of the time.
Yep.
So I had a little bit of a stab from in there. Super uncomfortable stance with those laurels, but this is what you're going to get. And Debo right off the top. So not going to see a birdie on this one, but as long as we can clean up our pars. Funny enough, this hole actually played an even average of 3. So
I'm not that surprised by that. This is as short as it is, it's still a very tricky hole. It's not going to give up a lot, and it's not going to really punish a player. But it's just a weird hole.
Because our tap-ins stay in the basket this time, and we are hoping to put that behind us and move on. And here's our scores for the front nine. What's looking...
We've got some hotness out there, and we've got some players that are just hanging around even-ish. But, hopefully we will catch it on that back nine and put up some even better scores as well. Coming up, a couple of good putts from Dylan. Tune in to Greatest Media Team. Subscribe, like, do the social medias. We'll see you on the back nine.
Absolutely. See you then.